Hello, welcome to Wrocław, one of the most beautiful and unique cities in Central Europe. Why? There is a lot of reasons, but the main is history of the city, which is really unbelievable. But before we start to talk about history, before we'll see our beautiful market square, I'd like to say a few words about basic facts connected with the city. Wrocław is a capital of Lower Silesia Voivodeship and one of the biggest cities in Poland, 650,000 inhabitants. So it's the fourth biggest city in our country. Lying on the banks of the Oder River, and all tributaries are connected with the city here. Bystrzyca, Ślęza, Oława, Widawa. 5 rivers, as you see, 5 rivers in the administrative borders of the city. That is the reason that we've got plenty of water here. Plenty of water, but this is what is interesting, that we've got here very humid and mild climate. So, plenty of water, humid climate, altogether green, unusually green city. Today we'll see our market square, so you don't have possibility to see our islands, our rivers, but I promise that our market square is worth it to see it. So maybe next time we will be talking about rivers and islands. Today let's talk about our architecture. Let's go to the market. I told you that history is the most important here in Wrocław. Very often, when I've got here people from Czech Republic, they talk to me like that. Arek, my name is Arek. Arek, you know, Wrocław, of course, is a beautiful city. But the truth is, it's old Czech city. When I've got here people from Germany, German call Wrocław Breslau, and they say, of course, today Wrocław belongs to Poland, no problem. But the truth is, it's old German city. What about us, Poles? Of course, we feel it's old Polish city. Who's right? Everybody is right, you know, everybody is right. When we compare the time, how long Wrocław belonged to Poles, to Czechs, to Austria, to Germany, they are very similar periods of time, about 200, 300 years, something like that. So we've got here a mix of nations, mix of religions, and that is unique in this city. Market Square, similarly to the old feudal Europe, was the heart of the city, the place connected with trade, connected with governing of the city, and the same way it was here in Wrocław. This is heart of the city, the most important and the most beautiful, in my opinion, part of Wrocław. Now we are standing in the corner of the western frontage, which is here, and southern frontage of our market square. Let's start with our town halls, because Wrocław, as you know, is unique. Yes, that's right. We've got 2 town halls here, the old one and the new one. The old town hall, built in Gothic style, is in front of us, this beautiful red brick building. And here you can see the new town hall. New town hall was built in the half of the 19th century, and today mayor and city council and other city communities are here in this new town hall. 2 town halls, and another very important fact related to this market square. This is the one of the biggest squares of this kind in Europe. From the northern part, which is there, to the southern part here, we've got 175 meters. From this side, this frontage is the western frontage, to the eastern, which is behind the town hall, is 212 meters. Nearly 4 hectares. Huge market square, one of the biggest in Europe. Let's go and take a walk and see this beautiful market. In its history, Wrocław belonged to Austria, to Hungary, to Bohemian Kingdom, Prussia, Poland, of course, and today belongs to Poland too. But we should say a few words about the Jewish community, which always was very powerful and very strong here, especially in the 19th century, in the beginning of 20th century. Jews had big influence on this city, and they were part of the history of Wrocław, together with Poles, with Czechs, with German. I'd like to show you in the beginning our coat of arms, which is really unique. And here in this coat of arms, you can see how incredible history we've got here in Wrocław. Look, here in this part of the coat of arms, you can see the white lion in golden crown. Yes, of course, this is the Czech Republic coat of arms. Look, here you've got black eagle with white stripe. This is the coat of arms of Polish Piast dynasty, dukes from Piast dynasty, which govern with Silesia. Here we've got W letter, related to the legendary founder of the city, Prince Wratislav. And here heads of 2 saints, Saint John Evangelist and the most important person in the city, Saint John the Baptist, the patron saint of everything, you know, patron saint of the bishopric, of the cathedral, and of course patron saint of Wrocław. Let's go this way, please. We talked about rivers in the city. You know, we've got plenty of them, but another sign of this city are dwarfs. Dwarfs you can find here everywhere. Of course, here in the market square, they are everywhere, you know, high, low, hidden somewhere or not. Look for them. They look like that. They are this size. And today we count, there is about 300, 400 dwarfs in the city, spread around the whole city. So if you come here, you'll see them, because it's hard to miss them. And now we'll see our southern frontage of Wrocław Market Square, which is, the name of it is under the Golden Cup. The name is related to one of the tentments here, and I explain it later, because in my opinion the most beautiful part of our town hall, old town hall, is in front of us, the southern part of the town hall. Look exactly, when you are looking at this facade, you can see people who lived in medieval city. We've got here a nun, a monk, a soldier, a merchant. Close to the roofs, we can see the scenes from the ordinary life. People are hunting, fighting, everything, you know. But something really special, something really unique is below. There you can see the sign Piwnica Świdnicka. Piwnica is a cellar. Polish word piwnica means cellar. Świdnica is a city about 70 kilometers from Wrocław. In Middle Ages, in Świdnica, people made one, I think even maybe the best beer in that part of Europe. So that was the reason that here in Wrocław, people gave name Świdnicka cellar to this place because of that beer. It was the only one place where you could buy this beer. And this what is the most important, in my opinion, that now we are standing in the front of one of the oldest restaurants in Europe. In the beginning of 14th century, people starting selling beer and food here in that place. And up till now, without any break, it's about 800 years, people still sell food and beer here in Piwnica Świdnicka. Many famous people came here to this place, like, Fryderyk Chopin, very famous Polish composer, German poet Johann Wolfgang Goethe, President of United States, Quincy John Adams, he was here too. And lately, Dalai Lama, for instance. Many of them were here because this place is unique, and it's not public relations, it's not marketing, it's true. It's one of the oldest restaurants in Europe. And not only in Poland, but in Europe. Look, above the door, you can see two people. There is a man, he's going back at home. He was in Świdnicka cellar a few minutes ago, and he's going back with beer in his hands, very shiny, happy. Look who is waiting for him. Can you see her? Yes, that's right. That's his wife, and she doesn't look nice. She's a little bit angry, I think, with the shoe in her hand, because he's drunk, of course, yes? So as you see, nothing has changed during the centuries. All the time, we've got the same situation. Okay, let's go. Of course, dwarfs. As you see, our dwarfs has masks too. You can see it in this creature, in this figure. It's one of our dwarfs, of course. Let's go this way, please. In front of us, we can see eastern frontage of our market square, eastern part of our market square, very often called frontage of the green pipe or court frontage. Why? Look exactly here. Let's go closer to the town hall. This is the eastern part of the town hall. Really beautiful with the clock and everything. But I'd like to emphasize that in the lower part we've got windows with bars, yes? Windows with bars. You know why? Because in Middle Ages there was a kind of medieval court, and that is the reason that there are the bars. And from that place the prisoners were taken and tied to this pillory. This is a pillory. Unfortunately not original, because during the war the original pillory was destroyed, but this is a copy, and it looks exactly the same like pillory built in Middle Ages. It was in 1492, so in the same year Christopher Columbus discovered America, yes, but there is no connection between these facts, but it was the same year. Yeah? Okay, let's go a little bit farther. We are on the eastern part of Wrocław Town Hall and Wrocław Market Square. We talked about dwarfs. And I told you that here in Wrocław we've got about 400 dwarfs. They appeared here not long ago. In 80s, it was a time of martial law in Poland, and here in Wrocław, in 80s was born a movement called Orange Alternative Movement, and they were young people. They were fighting against communism, but not with guns, not with bombs, you know, but with laughing, joking, showing the stupidity of the system, of the communist system. And one of the symbols of them were dwarfs. And after democratical changes in Poland in 90s, city decided to commemorate this movement. They founded the statue of a dwarf, and later they spread around the whole city. Today they are everywhere. Look, I'd like to show you that I'm not lying to you. If you are looking at this building, yes, you can see there is a sign of one, yes, okay, Burger King. Above is a window, the second window, the third window, and the fourth window. Can you see a dwarf in the fourth window? If not, you should come here. If not, you should come here and do it by your own, yes? But believe me, if you can't see it, there is another dwarf, and they are spread around the whole market square. Let's go this way, because sometimes maybe you can't feel how big is Wrocław Market Square, because in central part of the market square there is a complex of buildings. So that is the reason that you can't look on the other side. You can't see the western part, the western frontage. It's impossible, yes? Because of this complex of buildings. So let's go through this complex, because there you can see small passages. One of them is cloth makers passage, potter's passage, iron passage. All of them are related with Middle Ages, of course, and those days. Look there, what beautiful we've got in front of us. Today, all these buildings are from 19th century. Some of them were rebuilt after the Second World War. But earlier, you could find here stalls, shops connected with pottery, with cloth, with shops of bakers and shoemakers and many, many others. This part was trade part of the market square. Not only here, but this part was important for trading. Later, in 18th, 19th century, it was rebuilt. And that is the reason that today these buildings look like that. As you see, they are mostly from 19th century. And here is, in my opinion, beautiful place, not far away from here, because this is the only place where you can see fourth side of Wrocław Market Square at the same time. Let's stop here for a moment, and behind me we've got eastern frontage of the Wrocław Market Square. Here, look exactly, there, in this passageway, you can see the northern part. Okay, there we've got western part. It's far away, but there is a fountain, so there is the reason that we can't see farther. And here is southern part of our market square. Let's go this way, because there is a beautiful passage called cloth makers passage, and full of dwarfs, and maybe that's the reason that we should stop here for a moment. I told you earlier, dwarfs are everywhere. Look, let's count them. 1. Here we've got the second. Can you see them? Can you see them? The first one, yes. The second. Let's show our guests the third one. Here we've got the fourth. And look there with the ice cream. Can you see the ice cream? The fifth one. Without any move. Believe me, dwarves are a part of the city. They are everywhere. And if you look for them, they are. If you don't look for them, they don't disturb you. You know, they don't disturb you. You can go and no problem. But if you look for them, you can find all these dwarfs in many places. Sometimes very high, sometimes low, hidden somewhere in many places. Okay, and here in front of us, we can see important part of our market square, because this is a part of the new town hall. New town hall, as I told you, is the place where today is the place for our mayor, for our city council, and our authorities in Wrocław. And all of them, they are here. I didn't tell you earlier that Wrocław was destroyed during the Second World War. Nearly completely, we can say, because today we count that about 75%, 80%, it depends from the district, was destroyed. I'd like to show you a photo from 1945. Take a look how it looked like. Sorry. How it looked like in just after the war. This is the Wrocław Market Square. The city was completely destroyed. Why? Nazi decided to change the city into the fortress in 1944, and that was the reason that the Red Army decided to capture the city. Both sides were fighting till the last drop of blood, and in the end, city was so much destroyed, yeah, so much demolished by not only Russian army, not only Red Army, but by German army too. Okay, now we are in the western part of our market square, the biggest part. It's called Pigeon Square. Why? Because of pigeons, of course. And look, it's really bright. It's really huge. We will go there later because in the beginning I'd like to take you there and show you two small tenements, very popular and very famous. They are one of the symbols of the city, and I'm sure you know the story about Hansel and Gretel. You know the story about Hansel and Gretel? Yes, you must have. The names of these two tenements here are Hansel and Gretel. Let's guess which one is a girl and which one is a boy. What do you think? I give you 2 seconds, 3 seconds, okay? I tell you. Look, on the right side, you can see the bigger one with pink color, well dressed. It's beautiful. It must be a girl. It must be a girl. And on the other side, you can see the smaller one, and this is a boy. Between them, we can see an arch. And on the arch, there is a kind of coat of arms. Let's go a little bit closer, because you can't see what sentence there is. But I remember, I can tell you. You know, the sentence sounds like that. Mors, this is a sentence in Latin language. Mors janua vitae. Mors janua vitae. So It means in English, death is the way to life. You know why so strange words in this place? You know why? Because this gate was a gate to the cemetery, the biggest cemetery of medieval Wrocław, and there was this kind of cemetery. Let's go there for a moment, because I'd like to show you something unique too, just behind the gate. In front of us we can see beautiful Gothic style church of St. Elizabeth Church, one of the most important churches in Wrocław. If you like Gothic architecture, you must come here. You must come to Wrocław. You must, because on our islands you can find one of the biggest numbers of Gothic style churches, not only in Central Europe, but I think in Europe at all. But take a look here. Can you guess what is this? Can you guess what is this? Look, exactly. Here you can see the secret entrance to the world of dwarfs. They spread around the whole city because he's sleeping all the time. Yes, can you say it? He's sleeping, and that is the reason that dwarfs spread around the city. And of course, it's a legend. Yes, it's true. It's rather for our children, but I think it's really funny. Look, another one and another one. They are running to rescue this church, St. Elizabeth. In 70s, there was a big fire in this church, and they are going there because of that. Okay, let's go to the market square, to the western part of the market. There is a beautiful view of New Town Hall and western part of the market. You can ask, why? What for so big, so huge market square in this city? There was a reason. In Middle Ages, in the 13th, 14th century, Wrocław was one of the biggest cities in that part of Europe. Those days, it could be compared only with Nuremberg, Germany, and Prague. The third biggest city in those days. Why? Because here, in that place where we are standing now, was the crossroad of the most important medieval roads. The first one was the Amber route, which started close to the Baltic Sea, and through Wrocław. This road went to Italy. The second was Salt route, Via Regia, which started in Ukraine and through Krakow, Wrocław, goes to Western Europe. Here was the crossing of these two roads. So there was no choice. This city had to be powerful. This city had to be big. And when you are looking at this market square, you can see that it was. Today, Market Square is the heart of the city. It doesn't matter if you are here, 4 p.m. or 4 a.m. It's all the time full of people. Everything is open. Pubs, restaurants. It's the most popular place among local community. Unfortunately, not today. You know why? But I think that in few days, maybe not few days, maybe few months, if you'll find time to come to Wrocław, this market square will be nearly the same, with one small difference. There will be thousands of people. So let's meet in Wrocław in few months, I hope. Thank you very much. Thank you for your attention. Have a good day. Bye-bye.